This podcast contains descriptions of extreme violence, body horror, and adult language. Please check the description for details. Viewer discretion is advised. It's dark. Vex is used to this by now. This vaguely familiar feeling of absence. The absence of thought. The absence of place. And most frustratingly, the absence of memory. But what Vex is far too familiar with these days is instinct, and the distinct feeling that there's something important you need to be doing. There's always something important to be doing. You're there again. You can hear it. The phone. It's ringing again. It's important. It's unlike any other phone you've ever heard. Or perhaps you're just familiar enough with it by now that you know it too well. The low tone, the way the trill resonates, and that little second wind each ring has once it finishes. You know that you're doing something important. You know that because it only ever rings when you are needed. And you think you can see it. It's mounted in the wall, in front of you, where it always is. What do you do?
Answer it.
You tentatively step forward. This has happened so many times. You've tried to step forward and reach out to just lift that receiver off the hook, and it's always when your fingers touch the plastic, you think, that you seem not to go any further. But this time, you hear the click as you pick it up. There's a voice on the other end. You can't really make it out. It's distant.
Hey sunshine, wake up. Wake up. Kick or something.
You suddenly feel the harsh blow of a boot against your ribs as you suddenly come to in the waking world around you. You wake up, and you see above you is, staring over you, grabbing the scruff of your shirt and hoisting you just a little bit off the ground, is a unfamiliar face. She's somewhat fair in complexion, and you can feel that the hand which is grasping your clothing is tearing through it just a little bit. And one of her friends, one of her mooks, has just delivered a swift kick to your ribs. It seems you were passed out. And she, upon seeing your eyes kind of flutter open, goes, Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too hard? Hey, I didn't say to do it that hard, for goodness sake. You remember now, you're on a job for Section C, one of the gangs in the city, to deliver a parcel of some kind, and in the process of doing so, you sensed you were about to be intercepted and slung that thing into a nearby alley before you got jumped. The rest is a little bit fuzzy, something you are unfortunately a little bit too used to at this point. What is your reaction as this is taking place?
Vex's eyes, as you said, flutter open, and just these hazy memories rushing back to her, but before even any of that, her survival instincts kick in. She glares at the woman holding her and immediately just tries to just shove her back, just getting away from her grasp.
Hey, I'm not... Look, we are trying to come to an understanding here.
Who are you? What's going on? Who are you?
Yeah, sorry. No, that's my bad. I didn't introduce myself. Sorry, I just wanted to get your attention, but my guys, they... Well, you felt how boorish and how blunt they are. I'm Elizabeth. And you're Vex, right?
She straightens herself up a bit. When she's tense like this, her arms kind of dangle at each side, like almost oddly loose. The metal within them just ready to pounce like a tense, coiled spring. She looks side to side, assessing how many of them are there around her.
There is, as far as you can tell, there is no subtlety going on here. Alongside Elizabeth, there is 5 of what you can only describe as junk cybernetic individuals with her. They're all wielding various weapons of low quality, pipes, boards, all of that kind of thing, probably scrounged up from the junkyard that they got their various arms and legs from. They're rusted and basically falling apart. This is pretty standard fare for, let's not mince words. These guys are part of the collectors. And you can see that alongside the 5 that are standing around you directly, you are at the bottom of what is essentially a... Do you know, like, those, they're not canals, but they're like water runoff, like ditches that are quite large, that have like bridges over them?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's one of those. It's pretty much the main one in the city. And at the tops of the harsh slopes on either side of this place are what you guess to be maybe a dozen total on both sides combined. Probably trying to make sure that you don't try to, that you can't bolt that easily, but it's a pretty small crew, even for the collectors, all things considered.
She continues just analyzing the every move of those around her, kind of gritting her teeth and sucking in a couple of deep breaths. Looking for Vex, huh?
Oh, you do talk, yes. Vex, and that is you from what I'm led to believe. You see at this point that she, with her gesturing to you, the tearing sensation that you felt in your clothes, comes from the fact that she, in place of her hands, has cybernetic replacements, as would be expected, but the ends of them are tipped with razor-sharp, scalpel-like blades. This is definitely a pretty serious modification, and even though it doesn't look like she's too heavily modified outside of that, you know that it would be a bad idea to get on the wrong end of those things.
Yeah, sometimes I'm Vex. Depends on why they're asking.
Right, yeah. Well, now that I've got your attention, now we can properly discuss this. So, you've got a little something from Section C. See, the thing is, though... Sorry, I know it's rude, but we did pat you down and we couldn't find it. So clearly you stashed it somewhere, because I know for a fact you're not at your delivery location yet.
She kind of, adopts a slightly more relaxed posture and kind of, adjusts herself a little bit. Well, sounds like you've already got all the info. Guess there's no point in hiding it. She starts walking down, she starts hesitantly while keeping her eyes on the group, starting to, back up a bit. If you follow me, I'll show you where I stashed it.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised that you, caved so easily.
I mean, only so much you can do when you got this many guys around, right?
Yeah, but you're a dredge. I know you guys don't give up so easily.
You want to know how you become a dredge, Elizabeth? It's by not being stupid. I can tell when I'm outmatched. Just, you know, follow me slowly and all that jazz. She continues, like, kind of backing up, and pointedly, she is backing towards a nearby alley that is not the one that she threw the package in.
You start doing so. Do you try kind of scaling one of the harsh slopes, or do you kind of walk a little further down to get to one of the staircases?
She'd walk down to get to a staircase.
And yeah, you start doing so, and Elizabeth kind of calls out at this point and goes, "Keep an eye," and just starts walking down with you, and is pointedly kind of walking pretty close behind you, within slashing distance with her own claws.
So yeah, so she's taking the lead as she's following, right? How narrow are these staircases?
They're wide enough that you could manage 2 people going up next to each other.
So, she starts, when Vex reaches the staircase itself, she turns, away from Elizabeth and starts walking up normally. And she's gonna wait until she hears, like, she's gonna wait until she's near the top of the stairs and she hears Elizabeth reach, like, you know, the halfway point or whatever, you know, just a bit behind her.
That does indeed happen. She is not pulling any shit.
Well, I'm gonna pull some shit. So, Vex is then going to basically, like, she's gonna waver slightly, like, you know, just slightly, like, you know, she needs to grab the railing to steady herself for a second. And when she does, she's going to basically, holding the railing with one arm, boost herself up a little bit in the air, bringing both her legs, like, up, and with the just sheer, like, surprisingly high amount of strength in her legs, combined with the metal enhancements inside them, just swiftly try to, like, kick Elizabeth back down the stairs behind her and start running.
Alright, in which case, I suppose let's move ourselves to a combat map. So in this situation, we're actually going to start you off at your regular action point value, which, could you remind me what that is? Because I had you set down to, as if you were, you know, going to come out swinging, just in case.
It's 12.
Alright, so you're up at 12, and everyone else is lagging behind at 9 and 8. So yeah, you can go ahead and let's treat that as just a 1 damage push move with a, I mean, let's go with a 2-point action cost on that, and
okay.
make that roll with a +1 because you managed to surprise her. So that will be a D10 plus 1.
Yep, it's rolling.
Yes. Ooh.
Oh boy, alright. Right off the bat, I might need to use a boost. Go on.
Well, that's what you... I guess we're going to get into that in a moment. You rear yourself up onto both sides of the railing, and as you are kind of peeking your head down, like, basically underneath her own body, as you're about to do this, like, fucking double-footed donkey kick onto her, you see that she's already reacting, and you have a split second to do something about this if you need to. If you can.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? Actually, I apologize, right? So if this is a melee attack, I actually do get +1, which would make that a 6. I forgot about that boost.
Excellent. That is you managed to hit her then.
Just barely. All right. So yep, it works.
In that brief moment, you see that happening, and it's not even conscious thought. Just in the split second that you see her reacting, you readjust your aim and your trajectory, and you manage to nail her in just directly, squarely in the center of her chest. And you push her, and I will say, because it's such a narrow staircase, you managed to get the group of 5 guys behind her as well, just sending them into a fucking sprawling mess as her blonde hair, comes loose and becomes this messy fop on top of her. As she barely manages to recover, she just yells, "Get her ass!" and points up as you see that there is indeed the 5 guys at the top of the staircase with their own melee weapons. But I believe you still have initiative because you are you still have 10 action points, and it's yet to be her action.
Yep. So to get a quick description, right? I assume the orange is the stairs. What is the yellow? Like the street level, or?
Yeah, so it's not quite street level. It's basically the top of this, this water runoff area. The green area, or I suppose to use the proper terms for Necronica, you are currently in Hades, which is pretty deep into enemy territory. The top of these slopes is limbo. It's just, neutral ground.
Yep.
To get into an advantageous position, you would need to get to Elysium, which is street level, just by, finding an alley to get into.
Yeah. And do I see the guys that are in the limbo area currently, or no?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. They are just hanging out basically at the top of the staircase waiting for you.
I see.
If you wanted to run past them, it would probably be doable. You were, of course, just going to be risking being amongst them and at the whims of their weapons for a brief moment if you do.
And how much does it cost to move zones again?
If you want to do anything in this game, it's all tied to your various body parts. So because you don't have anything special, like, fucking jet boosters in your body or anything like that, you're just going to be using your basic parts, which is the bones and feet in your legs. So you can use your bone basic part at a cost of 3 in order to move 1 zone.
So I think what Vex is going to do for now is just after kicking her down, she immediately, just with the strength in her arms again, pulls herself back up onto the, balanced on the stairs, just reversing her momentum. And she's going to try and run up the rest of the way of the stairs. She's gonna move up next to these guys, just trying to slide and twist past them with the element of surprise.
Alright, reduce your action points.
So I will go down here. And just as a quick thing, as she gets up here, of course, as she dashes past them, she's still running for now, but as she does, she fully flicks her arms one to each side, and as she does, the long curved scythe blades engage, springing to life from each of her arms and forming long praying mantis-like blades from them as she's ready to ward off any attack from the guys around her.
Indeed, you see as they kind of, 1 or 2 of them, clearly not familiar with fighting all that often. Probably just another, as is the case of the collectors, just a bunch of schmucks who got roped into the gang by virtue of debt. You see a couple of them flinch as that happens, and immediately not keen on getting on the receiving end of those things. However, the better of the gang, the leader of this ragtag group, Elizabeth, is on her feet first. She starts basically pushing away at the various mooks that are underneath her, and just getting in her way. Frustrated, basically you see her put her hand on one of their faces at one point to get herself onto her feet, and she's like, "God fucking damn it! I want that fucking package!" And she just immediately gets to her feet, and starts running up the stairs, which, as she also only has basic movement parts, is going to be 3 cost, putting her at 6, just below you.
Yep.
At this rate, however, unless somebody hinders you, you are probably going to outrun her. You do hear her, however, point over to the guys on the other side of this ditch, and just basically goes, "Circle round!" and like does the circling motion with her hands just to reiterate the point. Yeah, next up is all of the various mooks. We'll take care of the guys who got fucking knocked down the stairs by you, just because, you know, same deal. 3 costs to get up onto the stairs. The guys on the other side, doing as they are commanded quite diligently, they start fucking hauling ass, and you see them kind of disappear into the streets. You assume to try and circle around to one of the various bridges that are a little bit further down, but will nonetheless allow them to get to you on the street level if you do manage to get out of this situation.
Yep, makes sense.
As for the other guys, you see them all kind of recoup their morale a little bit. Clearly, like, you know, you caught them off guard, but they're like, no, we outnumber this bitch. Let's fucking get her, you know?
Yeah.
So, let's see. If I'm not mistaken, they will be getting just the 1 unarmed attack collectively amongst all of them. They're all basically just so shit that, like, the more of them there are, the more threatening they are, but there is the added thing of none of them are good with the weapons they're using. So they all just go in, and in a hail of strikes and swipes from the various pipes and boards, you see it all incoming. Let's roll that D10. But you are just too good for this. This is child's play. How do you... Just feel free to describe your dodging.
As I said, she's just sprinting past and through them. She just ducks and twists her body to the side as they try to just stop her in any way, but she is much too fast. Finally, like, the last guy she goes past gets a blow that would land as he's just standing right in front of her, but she brings up both of her scythe blades, and just... His attack just slides along the curve of the blade, creating metal sparks as she again just shoves her way past him as well. You see the clean, unrusted metal left behind by your blade as it scrapes off the various corrosion and such, leaving what might be very much the only shiny piece of metal on this man, including the cybernetics that he is installed with. So, it is round to your initiative again, as all of those actions put them below you. Yep. So, I feel like at this point, Vex has stopped actively sprinting and is more just like staring back at the guys she's just gotten past. She kind of looks over her shoulder and she sees some of the other ones getting up onto the street level to surround her, and she kind of clicks her tongue a bit. Alright, guess it's gonna get messy. And she is going to just, even though she just ran past this group of mooks, she's going to immediately, again, just reverse her momentum like it's nothing, dashing back into them, and I'm going to just start, the whirling dervish, the classic.
Yeah.
She's gonna attack with her scythe blades. Uh-oh. That's really bad.
So how much damage does that do?
It is melee attack 1, plus chain attack, and, you know I'm gonna spend the extra 2 to use Calamity as well. This is gonna hit, yeah, all of them.
Because Calamity changes it into an area attack, right?
Yep.
Alright, so... Oof, chunky cost of, that brings that up to 4 cost total, but well worth it. I'm pretty sure that depending on how the chain attack goes, you will probably just completely annihilate these guys. Because what was it? Area attack will mean that any groups, which this is a group, will take double damage, which elevates that to 2 damage, is that right?
Yeah, and for it being a crit, I don't remember, how much does that double it again? How much does that increase the damage by?
So, if I'm not mistaken, you actually need to elevate it to above 10 to do extra damage.
Oh, above 10, okay.
Yeah, because 10 just means you hit perfectly, basically.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Gotcha.
So, unless you wanted to use one of your abilities to boost your roll.
No, I'm good. This will be fine. I think.
All right. In which case, you with one swift, as you turn around, you do this swift dash back in, and dragging one of your scythe blades through 2 of them at the same time, you see as there is just the telltale spurt of blood and pink mist as they fall to the ground. A combination of thuds and clattering thanks to their cybernetics. Feel free to make your follow-up attack.
Yep, she continues cleaving through these people, just like every motion as she does so is fluid and leads into the next, so she continues just slicing. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Christ. Yeah, so this is because it counts as a chain attack. That you get to make this follow-up one at no extra cost. And you got another 10 on it, so that is gonna be... Yeah, you...
So that's another 2 damage to all of them.
Yep. So, you once again do another 2 damage, which equates to another 2 bodies.
Yep.
And
2 guys.
You basically... You stop yourself dead. Your foot hits the floor and you turn on a dime and you dash back in basically a 90-degree angle to the trajectory you just had, and there is another 2 sprays of blood and bodies that hit the floor. There is 1 guy left.
For those in the city who haven't seen it or maybe have only heard rumors, it's always startling and just soul-rending almost to see how many people she can just cut down with seemingly so little effort.
It is a sight to behold, and it is definitely why you've started to carve out a name for yourself. There is 1 lone man left, and he is definitely not looking... he's not looking particularly confident. With that, however... You see that it is his turn alongside Elizabeth's. Elizabeth will once again spend 3 to come down to just below you once again to move into the same zone as you. So yeah, she reaches the top of the staircase, and the other guys they just run. She hits the top. And she watches as just this one lone guy just makes his way to the fucking street level, and she yells out to them, "At least join up with the other guys, you coward!" You and me then, Vex.
She doesn't say anything, she just reassumes her stance.
Next up is the guys on the staircase. They will similarly just move up. So yeah, the guys on the right, so they're gonna basically use Confluence, which basically just means if there is 2 of the same type of, like, you know, mob enemy, they can just
group up. Yep.
They just group up, and they indeed do that. So he's gonna go, and I believe they go to the highest initiative on the count.
Yep, that's why it's a good thing to do.
So there's now 6 of them. Yeah, you don't see it, but he encounters the group, and
they're like, "Pull yourself together, man!"
Yeah, literally. Fucking slap him and get him back into the action. He is.
There are 6 of us. It should be fine.
It'll be totally fine. It's not like she can kill all of us in one go with her fucking scythe blades or anything. That would be ridiculous.
No, don't be ridiculous.
They are basically just gonna hold initiative up here on street level. They basically, you see them basically like round the corner to to some of the around one of the alleyways, which would be like your quickest exit, and you can see that they are basically going to be a problem now. You think that they may not necessarily go to attack you. It seems they literally just want to body block you at this point. So
yep, they
go down to your initiative while holding. It is your turn.
All right. So this is her initial group of five guys, burgers and fries, right? And she's so the rest of them are basically surrounding me as kind of like an arena, right, with me and the lady. Yeah,
they are trying to enclose both of you. Of course, knowing your skill level, it's really much more for show. You could fucking slip through these idiots pretty easily, you imagine.
All right, I'm gonna go for an attack on Elizabeth in particular, and we'll see where that takes us. Again, just dashing forward, arms outstretched again. Vex tries to bring her blades up towards this woman. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing today.
Oh my god, it's another 10. Oh my god, right. So if I'm not mistaken, because it's 6 is just regular hit, and then it goes 7 legs, 8 torso, 9 arms, 10 head. So,
so.
You're going for the fucking throat, my gal.
She slashes up in an uppercut that just like, at just the angle that passes right through Elizabeth's guard and like slices into her fucking neck and head, yeah.
So that is 1 damage, is that right?
Yes.
Alright, so yeah, you do that, and as you do that uppercut, you watch as the blade, you feel it, because it's connected to your ligaments, to your bones. You can feel it as there is that very brief moment of it slipping through flesh, and it then forcing its way through her jawbone as you feel it just fucking part across your blade.
Yep, and chain attack now also.
Alright, go for it.
Alright, this is the polar opposite of how that test battle we did when I'm just like actually reaving these people. Alright, 9 next. Yeah, after that, no hesitation, Vex goes for another slice.
Yeah, she, so, basically, what goes on here, the sequence of events, right? You nail her. She just wasn't ready for, like, how deft and quick. And I think, more importantly, she's pretty familiar with, like, close combat, considering her weapons of choice, which are these fucking, like, razor-sharp claw hands. But something about the way that the mantis blades work is just something she's not encountered before. So that first one, it just goes a little past the reach she was expecting, fucking tears through the jaw, and your second one comes in, and she is competent enough that she manages to react in time, and she barely manages to get her fucking arm in the way of the next one as you watch this streak of crimson go across as you realize it's only going up about half, her cybernetics are only going about halfway up her forearm, and you've managed to clip it pretty nicely. And you just hear the, fuck! Oh, you bitch! I'm gonna fucking kill you!
You'll try.
It is, the guys up on the staircase. I don't think she's in a headspace to command them to do anything, so they are literally just gonna hold their action again, which means that it's her and her mook's turn. Let's go with the mooks first. Strictly speaking, because they're all on the same initiative, this technically happens all at once, but I think it's cooler if we take care of the mooks first. Plain D10. Well, that's a 1, which in this game, I'm pretty
Welcome
sure.
to Heart of Hope, you asshole.
That means they hit someone that is an ally in the area. So let's. I'll just roll a D10. Highs, it hits Elizabeth. Lows, they get in each other's way. They go in for what you assume is going to be, them trying to aid their boss and give you a bit of a beatdown. But as it's all happening, It's a complete clusterfuck. They are so thrown off by the absolutely fucking devastating hit you just landed on Elizabeth. And one of them manages to basically trip over, and jeering at him as you watch you basically watch his junk leg, cybernetic leg, just snap as he falls over. And he basically goes rolling down the sheer fucking, like, you know, slope of this ditch. And he is out of commission. He probably isn't dead, but he's out of the combat for all intents and purposes.
All things considered, he might be the luckiest one in the group.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, he goes ass over tea kettle down this fucking slope as amongst all of this chaos, Elizabeth goes in for an attack.
Oh, good.
So this is just going to be a raw D10 for her. She isn't experienced enough to have any bonuses.
Oh, pretty good, though.
She is going to land a hit on your torso, however. So, here's the thing about Scissorhands, and this is going to maybe affect what you do in reaction to this. It is only 1 damage, but it has the dismember quality, which means that it will destroy all of the parts at that location if you do not do something about it.
Oh, boy. She's literally going to cut my body off, I see. Alright.
She's gonna cut your entire body off!
Oh, good. Alright. If that is the case...
If I'm not mistaken, you've got a pretty treasured item on your person there, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. She does not want... She sees this coming and is like, you know... She's caught off guard by the, you know... endurance and pain tolerance this woman had, and just presence of mind to attack back rather than just, like, nursing her wounds. And, yeah, okay, let me see here. What can I do? Well, I have the hinder thing. I know I have that.
Everyone has a hinder ability from the get-go, if I'm not mistaken. And, oh my god, you literally have barely enough action points to do that.
Yes, I do. You know, I'm so glad you noticed, because I was saving it. I am gonna spend that and, hinder 1 to make that a 7, which will target what instead?
Legs instead. So, it's basically I imagine you see this coming, and if you've ever seen or done martial arts, there's a style of blocking where rather than coming down low to block with one of your arms, if it's a low enough strike, you can bring up one of your legs to get your lower leg into the way. And yeah, you again instinctually bring your leg up for a leg block, which summarily you watch as that leg it just detaches as the claws pass through it.
Fuck! Ah!
They follow through, and the ligaments on your other leg are clipped alongside of it as they are just completely fucking trashed.
Wow, let me just cross off all these leg parts. Oh boy. That's especially unfortunate considering the enhancement I have there, but oh well. It's better than my whole personhood being gone. So
you watch as your leg literally just sails off. It goes up, and like it straight up goes over the guys who are surrounding your circle, and you watch it just like, you know that rhythm that happens when something that's got a mismatched weight is tumbling down a hill and it starts to bounce higher and higher? Like, that's what you hear it doing down the slope.
Christ.
And, you are on the ground. You're not out of commission, but my god, are you in you are pinned at this point.
Yeah, Bex's face is just contorted in pain at this point.
Elizabeth grips her jaw, and you can see that she's in such a like bad way herself that the scalpel-like fingers on her claws, she's like just accidentally digging them into her own cheeks and such as she's trying to like desperately hold her jaw together. She tries to like gargle something out at you, but her mouth has now flooded with blood, and she can't fucking make anything out to you at this point. Yeah, she kind of waves her hand and just points down to you at the guys around her, and tries to start waving down the attention of the guys up on the street level as well. We're going to go for another attack with these guys, which will put them at -2, which will eat into next turn. This is like demonstrative of the absolute chasm of skill difference between you and these guys. You're literally missing a leg and the other one has been made useless, and these guys go in to try and pound you, and you are using your arms and expertly moving your body weight around that you can actually basically use your mantis claws to pull yourself out of the way of every strike.
Yeah, she's just rolling and clawing desperately out of the way of everything.
The other guys are just gonna wait. They're a little uncertain of what she's trying to communicate, and we are going to go to the next round. So, if you would please add a point of bloodthirst to your character.
Oh, yes, I will do that, no problem.
And to explain that, every round of combat that goes by, or rather every turn of combat that goes by, it becomes a little bit more... There's a little bit more of a haze of violence as that happens, and so anyone involved has to add bloodthirst to their character sheet, which puts them at risk of losing themselves to essentially a blood rage.
Yeah, and considering what's just happened, as she is just, like, crawling, desperately avoiding the rest of the blows, like, Vex's eyes, normally just a very dull, rust color, are starting to glow a bit brighter just as she just pants and is operating on adrenaline alone at this point. It's at this moment there is essentially this lull in the fight. There's a natural rhythm to these things, and you've experienced it so many times that it's almost like this conscious decision to keep fighting, which kind of brings that level of haze. And so, everyone catching their breath and taking a second and then deciding to keep going, that's essentially what this is. And it's when that kind of quiet is happening that you hear, up on street level, up where the other guys are, you hear this clattering and the sound of footfalls as someone else enters the fray. Oh boy.
Hey everyone, it's Savvy with your regularly scheduled break. Take a second to cool off and wind down before we continue. Also, if you're enjoying the show, please consider supporting me on Patreon for as little as £1 a month. You can find me at patreon.com/eternal_savvy. Once again, that's eternal_savvy. And of course, any and all support is a huge help to keep the lights on. The more support I get for shows like this, the more of them I can produce. If you would prefer, I also have a Ko-Fi by the same username where you can send me a one-time donation instead. You can also find me on Blue Sky, Twitch, and basically everywhere else with the same name, eternal_savvy. If you're one of the wonderful folks who makes fan art of Heart of Hope, please feel free to @ me on Blue Sky, use the hashtag Heart of Hope, or post it in my Discord server, where you can also discuss the game. Last but not least, you can find all of the music and sound effects used in this episode of Heart of Hope in the description of the podcast. Some characters were made using prompts from the fans. Special thanks to Dark Destiny 1010 for Elizabeth, and an anonymous contributor for Lola Lemongrass. Thank you so much for considering supporting me. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Let me add somebody to initiative.
Oh, that's an icon, alright.
You see, as out on street level, coming around the corner and visibly seeing everything that's going on here. Even between the legs of the people around you, you can see what's going on. It's a member of another gang. And it's in this moment that you realize, it triggers in your head. You were kind of a little bit sucked up into the moment at the time, but you aren't in Collector territory. You're in Foundling Creed territory. And sure enough, you see that this particular person, she's this towering 6'3", just like, only way to describe her is a herbo. She's fucking muscled up, and she's wearing this bloodied apron and holding a cleaver in one hand, seemingly just having pulled herself out of a kitchen of some sort. And she's got a bunch of people with her as well, with various tattoos and hauling weapons of their own. You see this huge lady with all, like, basically these blackout tattoos going up both of her arms. And she has her hair like tied up in this messy but very large ponytail of her own. This dark spiked hair, grease going through it very clearly just from being over a stove in what you can only assume is a restaurant. And she looks over, sees all of the various cybernetics that everyone is sporting, and just goes, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing here?" You see Elizabeth, this spark of panic kind of lights in her eyes as she just coughs up some blood trying to say something, as she just instead goes, "Threat timer left." You think she's trying to get everyone to retreat, and just kind of like waves everyone down and just does what you assume is a symbol for fucking split. And let's go from the top of initiative, which is still you.
Yeah, alright. Considering the new situation, I think... Oh, boy. Alright. Yeah, I think she's going to prioritize, because she's not exactly sure how friendly these guys are gonna be. She's going to prioritize just getting away from the eye of the storm, so to speak. She's going to just, using her arms to just crawl and propel her body along. She is going to go into get up to street level and just further away from everything else. That will cost me 4 because I don't have my legs, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, you do still get to move even if you don't have the parts. That's right, it just costs way more.
it costs way more, and if my shoulder is destroyed, then I can't at all. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So yeah, you fucking drag yourself out. You basically manage to make it past all of the guys because they are simultaneously in the process of 1, running, and 2, their attention is split to what is essentially another gang, which is probably gonna be bad for them. With that, it is the 2 leading ladies' turn. You don't know these guys well enough to be able to say who they are beyond, Elizabeth, who told you her name. But the other one, by the looks of things, she looks to have her shit together a little more, because not only can you see that she has this huge meat cleaver that she's sporting as a weapon, but you can see hanging off of her belt is this long-barreled shotgun, which she racks, and you see her say to her men, "You take care of the little guys. I'm gonna get this fucking roach off our property." She lifts up her shotgun and goes to fire at...
and blows Vex's head off, baby. She's dead.
Man, yeah. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching Heart of Hope, everybody. But no, she is gonna go for she's gonna go for Elizabeth. Elizabeth gets to act at the same time. That being said, she reacts with speed as she's engrossed enough in this way of life that, like, it's not even a matter of, like, reacting to her reaching for the shotgun. She clocked she had a shotgun and made the natural assumption. So she closes distance as fast as she can, and she moves onto street level, unfortunately catching up with you, but fortunately you don't think her attention is on you anymore. Let's see how this new chef lady is gonna do. Ooh, that is a hit. However, it just clips her. She's running fast enough that she isn't able to aim, and as a result, she only manages to get a graze off on her. Let me double check the let me check the deal with shotguns though, because these things are pretty nasty. In fact, they're nasty enough that they actually inherently get a +1. So that's actually just gonna hit her legs.
Oh, I'm so sympathetic.
She sees her closing in, and noting that this is definitely someone who wants to get in close, just fucking bam, be gone. And that is going to be 1 damage, and as a nice little added bonus, because shotguns, you know, have this funny little thing where they have a spread quality to them, that counts as an explosive attack, which means it also deals 1 damage to an adjacent location on the same person. You see as she suddenly kind of doubles over in pain as this shotgun manages to blow one of her feet just fucking clean off. Simultaneously, you can see this blood building up in her stomach area. Next up, it is you and the various mooks in this area.
Yeah. Alright. Rather than try to continue engaging with her scythes, you know, considering her sort of precarious situation, Vex is now going to, she's gonna take aim at, you know, this group of guys here, right?
Yeah.
That's closest to her. She's gonna pull out her gun, which, for reference, this is a pistol, but this is also, like, it's not as big as the shotgun or anything, but it is a long barrel. Like, this is a massive pistol. It looks like it could, like, kill a fucking rhino.
It's a fucking Helsing-ass gun.
Yeah. And she just grabs that from the holster at her hip, takes aim at the nearest group of guys, and just, you know, she's gonna try to start weeding them out a little bit. Oh, and it is gonna hit.
That is gonna hit, and that's just a 3 damage hit, right?
Yeah. So she just starts taking a few shots at these guys, and just because they, you know, she was on the ground, not as clear and present of a threat as these newcomers. She just sort of takes out her gun and starts blowing at their fucking guts out like they've been punched through from behind.
There is a fucking eardrum shattering and deep fucking, like, you know, sound of gunfire just once from this thing, and just you watch as, like, fucking grapefruits, like, sized holes suddenly appear in 3 of them. One of their heads just straight up pops, and they fall to the ground.
The weakness of this gun being, of course, that it does take a second or two just to reload it, just from the sheer weight of it. She for now just takes that 1 shot, and that's all the time she has for now.
That's all you need, baby. The 2 gangs, they are gonna go for each other. The 2 mooks. You watch as the cybernetics clash with the now higher in number individuals, new individuals who have shown up. Let's roll for cybernetics first, and the second roll will be the new guys. Ooh,
oh my god.
So, despite their best efforts, I think what happens is the cybernetic guys, the collectors, they realize what's at stake. They know that this is, if they don't get out of here, they're in enemy territory. They're dead if they stick around. So they just bum rush the group before they can even like, you know, charge to meet them. And despite the fucking gun just tearing through 3 of them as this happens, the remaining of them manage to cause enough chaos that they can't help but end up misfiring some of their guns and such. And again, highs will hit their boss, it's going to be their boss. So yeah, in the chaos, one of her own men accidentally misfires his pistol, and it's going to go into ooh, that's the torso. No, that's arms. My bad.
Yeah, I think 8 is torso.
It goes off and it hits her in the shoulder. The least deadly of wounds, as everyone knows.
That's what's funny in Necronica, though. It's like, oh yeah, it's just the shoulder, don't worry. But except that's actually a very valuable part, as we just learned. So,
next up is is the big lady. She takes the hit to her shoulder, and you see her wince and grimace, and seemingly having her shit together rather than barking at her men like Elizabeth does. Instead, she just keeps calm and collected, probably notes that for later, and is just gonna... She's just gonna pull out her cleaver, and she's gonna go for it. She's gonna go for hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
Another 9. So that is gonna be her arms again, and that is 2 damage from that. Yeah, she puts her hands up in the way to block, but it is once again just a shower of crimson in a clean line as this cleaver just rakes across her arms, and you hear that there is the tearing of ligaments, both wire and flesh. Her hands barely intact. Yeah, you see her just calm and collected, just smirks as this happens and brings up her cleaver to keep going. It is Elizabeth and her gang, and at this point, Elizabeth is just gonna fucking bolt. She just runs into the alleyways and she runs off, leaving her men behind like the fucking bitch that she is. We will end combat there, with the added strength of having a leader around that the other guys don't. It's a little bit of a struggle, but they kind of, in time, they end up basically tearing them apart. And there is, I reckon there's like 2 or 3 stragglers that actually manage to make it out. They basically like double back down the ramp. Like, they see this going on and they're just like, oh, nope. And they just run back down the stairs, make their way back up the other side and just disappear. They finish quite literally butchering these cybernetic guys. This huge, muscled lady comes over to you and sees that your leg's off and goes, oh, you aren't looking good. Hold on. You're Vex, right?
Just a scratch, I'm fine. Yeah, Vex.
No shit. Think you, yeah, you did something for a buddy of mine the other week. Ooh. You were in rough shape. Hey, your leg around here somewhere, or did they do something nasty with it? You can't help but be struck by the irony of that statement.
Yeah.
Considering that the Foundling Creed are well-known cannibals and will frequently eat the body parts that they cut off of their enemies.
Vex, she's just kind of like propped up on one elbow, blood oozing from her wound. She kind of like waves an arm. She's still panting, but the glow is fading somewhat from her eyes as she keeps her grip on her weapon. She kind of gestures with her gun. I think it rolled into the ditch or something down there. If you wouldn't mind grabbing it for me, I'd appreciate it.
Alright guys, there's a leg down there. Not for us. Get it for Vax. Bring it up.
Yeah, thanks.
They run down, and in no time at all, they've created like this little coordinated chain where they basically like, you know, each one of the 5 of them is like at different points of the stairs, and they just kind of do this like throw it to one another to get it up quicker kind of deal.
Yeah. Vex watches this like, yep, something new every day.
You actually hear, as this is going on in the background, you see when they arrive, that one guy who tumbled off the fucking side of this spot with the broken cybernetic leg, he was like trying to drag himself away the whole time but didn't make any progress. And so, like, they show up down there,
no.
and you just hear, no, guys, look, I didn't want to be involved in the first place. Yeah, none of you collectors want to be involved in the first place. You're all just spares, aren't you? Come on, you get it. You don't need to do anything, right? Come on. And you see the guys kind of look up at their boss, and they go, "What do you reckon, Lola? Give me a minute. Don't off him just yet. Let me finish my conversation with my friend here." And they all just go, cool.
and you see them surround him, and he suddenly gets this, the guy at the bottom just gets this real tense, like, oh boy, feel about him. And Lola, at this point, kind of Slav squats down next to you, gives you this, like, big cheesy grin, like, really very joyful person, and goes, Lola Lemongrass, by the way. Local chef? I doubt you've heard of the place, considering, dredge and all. Unless, I don't know, maybe you're into it.
I don't make it to this part of town very often. Name's just Vex, as you know.
Yeah. Right, well, what were you up to? We can help you get along the way.
Yeah, so just to clarify, the delivery, was I delivering it to the Creed specifically? Or,
so here's the deal. So you're on the map now, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you can see where I've placed your marker, and let me get Lola over here with you. Yeah, so you can see that basically you were commissioned by Section C, the third gang in this city, to deliver, you don't know what it is, but you can only assume it's an organ of some kind. You were commissioned to deliver it to someone who is in the neutral area. The safer way would have been to circle down and stay in Section C territory the whole time, but you made the decision to go through Foundling territory. Normally that would have been a safe decision, but you got the unfortunate experience of being jumped by a gang who was very brazenly out of their territory.
Yep. Okay, makes sense. So I need to just get back to the area. In that case, Vex would just kind of like, she, with her empty hand, just kind of waves a bit. No worries, I'll be fine. I'm just making my way back home.
Not like that, you're not. Points at your legs. Legs singular, rather.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Carry me all the way there?
Sure shit ain't.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd appreciate it, but didn't figure as much, so I'll be fine, no worries.
Tell you what, I'll help you out. We can carry you over if you, cut us in on a little bit of the money you got out of this. I mean, we did just save your ass.
You did. She, thinks for a moment.
Let me remind you, you might have helped us out last week, but, it ain't always a matter of who you helped out. Ain't that easy.
I'm well aware of how easy it isn't. Yeah, fine. Carry me back, I'll give you something.
No problem. You are all of a sudden in the space, like, you've barely got out the last word of your sentence when she just grabs you round the waist with her really fucking muscly arms and just fireman hikes you.
Oh god. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Did I hit a nerve? Alright, let's get this gal back to her place. You circle back to where you managed to sling that package. One of the guys that's with you has basically got your leg in tow behind you rather. You don't like some of the looks that he's giving as he's looking at that leg.
Yeah, Vex just kind of has her eyes lidded a bit, partially from exasperation, partially from blood loss, and it's just like, yep, this might as well happen. Yeah, she can't really protest too much, so I guess she's just gonna not argue as she's carried back.
You end up in the neutral zone, and this is pretty much at the center of the city. It's one of the main kind of hub areas, which would normally be a pretty desirable place for one of the gangs to have under their ownership. It has remained, by agreement of pretty much all three of them, of the main big guys, it has remained pointedly neutral, not just uncontested or in flux, but they actually actively respect the borders for the most part. It's mainly by virtue of not wanting the clusterfuck of having to deal with two gangs at once in one part of the city. Not to mention, they get a lot of benefit from having a couple of businesses which are catering to everybody every now and then. You live in this zone of the city, and it's as you cross over and see the smattering of every type of individual that is endemic to these parts of the streets. People with, cybernetics, the same as the collectors of varying qualities. People sporting all kinds of different weapons and tattoos, and who are part of the Foundling Creed, the cannibals, and more properly dressed or modern looking individuals who have various very monstrous mutations all over the body. Extra eyes, extra arms, tails, all of that kind of thing. All commingling along with regular civilians who seem to always be just a little on edge. And Lola and her underling kind of reach this point in one of the roads. The various packed apartment complexes around you, towering around you, and the smell of the slums just, sifting into your nostrils. And she goes, "Right, well, you got a dock you want me to drop you off at, or home, or are you gonna have me carry you to the job?"
Here's fine. Don't worry about it.
Alright, if you say so. She sets you down, and you did receive half of your payment up front for this job, so she kind of stands there a little expectantly, either for you to tell her that you'll pay her later, or to give her money.
Yeah, so what she does, right, is she takes most of that half, starts counting it out, and she'll just hand it right over, but then she kind of, something she likes to do is kind of a partial show of respect / kind of negotiating tactic, is after counting that out, she then takes whatever's left of that half and counts that out as well, and then gives it to her again and just says, "Just for your help. This is for you."
Hey, that's real kind of you, sweetheart. Well, I won't forget it. And I'll take this opportunity to say, gain 2 favor, and
right.
to explain favor. I'm sure you're familiar with experience in various tabletop games. It's usually a little bit more granular, hundreds of experience, that kind of thing, before you reach a threshold. Necrotica is more akin to stuff like Vampire, in that you just get singular numbers. And we're just treating it as a combination of money and literal favor of people liking you, that kind of thing. I am going to keep it at 2 rather than reducing it to 1, because you gave her a little extra, so she likes you,
Yeah, and it's one of those things where she could have just handed over the whole half and it would have been distributed however, but it's it's the extra oh, here's your tip sort of thing that makes it, feel better. Especially in a city which operates so often off of bare minimum or whatever you can get away with, that definitely has endeared you to people on a multitude of occasions. Lola, sure enough, takes the money, gives you another big cheesy grin on her face, and goes, "Right, well, I just left the kitchen to all my bozos back there. I should make my way back. It's about to be the lunch rush. You take care of yourself. Hope you can crawl into whatever gutter you get yourself fixed up at." "I'll manage. Till next time, then."
She makes her way off. You are left alone, leg in hand, in the tumultuous streets of Hope's Rise, or, as many have taken to calling it instead, Hope's Fall, considering just how much of a shithole this place is.